artificial intelligence, or AI, or I cannot create art because that diphthong cannot perceive. And perception, as we'll see, is the necessary component for the creation of art. We'll look at 3 stages of perception: rudimentary perception, ruminative perception, and examined perception. First, let's define rudimentary perception. Rudimentary perception is the plain acquisition of sensory data. Sensory data can be light rays reflected or emitted and then received by the eye, the textures, weights, and other qualities felt by nerves in the skin, scent molecules, sound waves, and so on. Sensory data forms the basis of non-linguistic learning. You could say it's what goes into our brains specifically to the place where the structures of language have put their roots. You could say that. Next, let's define ruminative perception as the conversion of sense data into thought, or what might be termed understanding. Key to this idea is perception without external suggestion. Ruminative perception does not require an external guide, a manual, or a life docent. Our minds acquire the knowledge from sensory organs firsthand, and interpret that data at the instant it affects us. A newborn infant, 10 seconds from the womb, experiences affective stimulation when its skin feels dryness for the first time, and immediately responds, without consulting anybody, in brutal, primitive cries that signify joy to every nearby creature but itself. As soon as it perceives that this new life is not a death, it calms down. The senses provided the affective stimulus. The instinctive response or reflex was avoidance. The failure of avoidance resulted in unexpected non-negativity, and understanding was born in the brain. Lastly, examined perception results after 2 steps. First, the intellectualization of perception, which everybody does, and could be defined as understanding, followed by thinking. And second, from attempts to communicate one's intellectualized perceptions, either internally or through external forms. Or you could say this begins with self-awareness and ends in the creation of art, if that's your thing. Let's pretend it's your thing for a moment. Unlike Dall-E, all of your art begins as the expression of your perception. Martin Amis, novelist son of novelist father Kingsley Amis, said, and I misquote, "Style is how one perceives the world." Long before I ever heard of Dall-E, I wrestled with this idea. How is perception tied to style? And furthermore, how is style tied to art? And then it dawned on me. Until one can see, one cannot share what one has seen. And once one has seen, and once one has thought about what one has seen, art becomes more than mere depiction of the thing seen. Art charges a thing with vitality, and that vitality often comes from style. Without examined perception, there can be no art.